Hello, I'm Adriana Alexander in the MGT class, and I'm doing my presentation on organizational design, structure, and change. So the company I decided to do my presentation on is Amazon.com. It's the second largest grossing company in the entire globe and the entire country. And I felt like it was important to get some details about this company and figure out something that they're actually doing wrong that many people don't know about. But then again, many people just might. So just a review on everything I will be talking about today: company issues, the ramification of those issues, the relevance of these issues, the principles and values of the company, Kotter's 8 steps, possible changes to the issues, proposed solutions from me, and the lessons that I learned from doing this presentation. So the issue that I wanted to dive into today, of course, this company might have a lot of different issues, but the one I chose to is being attentive to the needs of consumers and employees in regards to the social responsibility to the community and the environment. So back in April, Amazon employees across the country went on strike against the company to protect grueling working conditions and intensive surveillance in the factories. Now, what I learned throughout this course is the way leaders of a company treat their employees can positively or negatively affect the work environment. So this goes back to what we've been covering since this class began 8 weeks ago: leadership. When the leadership is in place and the leadership is doing what it's supposed to do, the company is going to do nothing but succeed. But this is something that Amazon lacked, which caused employees to go on strike and fight for their rights in the company. So these are essential to a healthy functioning economy, as are other elements of conscious capitalism, including trust, compassion, collaboration, and value creation. Now, in simpler terms, like I said, business owners have to be conscious of the power they have in the company and use their power for good of the stakeholders, employees, and consumers, and not for the bad. So whatever that leader does at the top of the pyramid will trickle down into the company, either positively or negatively. You don't want it to be negative because it could be a negative result. Now, the ramifications of what Amazon has been dealing with for the past couple of years. I know some friends that work for Amazon that said they stopped working for Amazon because it was strenuous hours. They weren't paying the employees enough, especially delivering through the pandemic and working through the pandemic. So here are the ramifications for not treating your employees right at your company. The loss of employees. Employees will end up leaving the company, and if the issues are not resolved. Tarnished reputation. If things continue to decline at the company's reputation might diminish. The lack of constant revenue. Now, with no employees working, then you're not going to make any money, and the company could possibly close and have a business closure. Now, with the negatives that come with not treating employees fairly, the company could face closure as a result. Now, how is this relevant? Well, the different structures that we were required to speak about were structure, design, culture, and effectiveness. So organizational structure reflects the company's division of labor, span of control, hierarchy, formalization, and centralization. Now, the Amazon company needs better organization structures in place to better treat employees. Like I said, if you don't treat your employees right, then the customers aren't treated right, and it'll trickle down to possibly losing your business. Now, organization design, the process of selecting and managing aspects of organizational structure and culture to enable the organization to achieve its goals. Now, the goals needed to be set at Amazon to better assist customers and to better assist employees as well. There's specific designs that companies need to follow in order to succeed and do what they need to do in order to get the product out. So I think that was important to highlight. Organizational culture. The culture is what shifts a company, the culture of it and how people feel comfortable working there. People feel comfortable supporting the business. I think that's really important. And it's influenced in part by its industry. Different industries develop different cultures. Now, in Amazon's case, the culture has to continue to evolve in order to meet the needs of clientele around the globe. Amazon is everywhere. It's in India, it's in Australia, it's in Alaska, it's in Florida, it's in Jamaica. Amazon is everywhere. So being able to adjust to that different clientele throughout the world is something Amazon does very well, but they can still do better. And lastly, organizational effectiveness, the concept of how effective an organization is in achieving the outcomes of the organization's intends to produce. The intentions isn't to neglect employees, but the main goal is to make the profit. So what I meant by that is companies usually focus their cares on profit but not necessarily always the employees. So I think that's something Amazon should do better. Having effectiveness, being effective leaders, and really highlighting employees and making sure they're knowing that their work is appreciated rather than the money. Now, the principles and values. Now, from my personal take, Amazon does embody the principles of conscious culture. An organization's culture is influenced in part by its industry. Different industries develop different cultures. Now, Amazon is second to being number one in the most profitable company in the world. And the company has seen major success, and a lot of great things have happened at Amazon. So if you want to continue that, you got to have the right principles and values in order to continue to be successful and make money and keep your employees and customers happy. Now, Kotter's 8 steps of change model. Now, I didn't want to write it out. I wanted to more so just touch bases on it verbally and really just voice how I feel about his 8-step change model. So create a sense of urgency. You want your employees to be excited to come to work and have a sense of urgency to where they want to get their work done as quick as they can and as efficiently as they can. That's number 1. Number 2 is building a guiding coalition. When everybody is working together and doing the job that needs to be done, it'll make the job go by faster and it'll make it more enjoyable as well. 3, form a strategic vision and initiatives. Whenever you're working, you want to have a common goal, not just for yourself, but also for your team and your group in order to get the job done. 4, enlist in volunteer army. Even if you have to stay an extra 2-3 hours just to get the work done, or an extra couple of minutes, having that drive and being able to volunteer your time is something that companies really appreciate. 5, enable action by removing barriers. You want to be able to stay focused when you're at your job and removing any distractions or any barriers that can prevent you from doing your job. 6, generate short-term wins. Now, it's really important for companies to highlight those small workers that might not necessarily have a position, but they do the work. Giving those people the worker of the week or customer service of the month, those little things will ensure that customers are happy as well as employees feel appreciated. 7, sustain acceleration. You want your company to continue to grow and to continue to go up on the ladder and continue to be successful. So sustaining acceleration is always important because you want your company to keep growing. And institute change. Everything does not stay the same. If everything stayed the same, I wouldn't be able to post this on YouTube and get this assignment done and get this presentation done. Because 20 years ago, I couldn't do this. This wasn't able to be done. So instituting change and being open to change is something that's important for not just employees, not just business owners, but also customers as well. Now, possible changes to what Amazon is going through in regards to workers going on strike because they felt like they weren't appreciated and their jobs were harder to do and the company didn't understand. Here are some possible changes. Get a think group of employees together to speak about their experiences at the company and with company leaders. So getting those hierarchy people at the company and then getting those employees that come in 9 to 5, having that conversation about what needs to change at the company could really help the company stakeholders moving forward. 2, leaders can take the record of employee concerns and do all they can to meet their demands. Encourage more leadership in the workplace. That one employee that does all the work and encourages everybody could possibly be a great manager for you. So encouraging people to get up to the next level and help the company more is always great. Make sure stakeholders in the company know the issue is being resolved and they can trust the company. You don't want to get a bad reputation. Like I mentioned earlier, you want your company to continue to grow, even though some things might not go the way you want. You want people to know that they can still trust in what your product is coming out. And 6, putting specific protocols in place for future employers to have an outlet to express their concerns with leaders. So whether it's having, for example, a box somewhere at the company where people can voice their concerns and a stakeholder or a business owner or leaders in the business can go ahead and get that paper out of the box and read what needs to be fixed at the company or what they feel they could see improve. That is just something small that could happen in the company to ensure that things are resolved quickly and efficiently. Now, the lesson I learned from this is a lot goes into being a business leader, from worrying about your stakeholders, worrying about ensuring your customers are happy, making sure your employees are being treated right. It's a lot that goes into working in a business and being a business owner. And a leader has to define the culture to support the business strategy, consistently behave in ways that demonstrate the culture, explain the culture to employees so they understand why it's critical, and then hold themselves accountable for maintaining it. And like I said, that ties in with personal responsibility as a leader. That was something that was highlighted throughout these 8 weeks. Having personal responsibility in what you're doing as a leader, because everybody follows the leader. It's a follower and it's a leader. If you're leading, everybody's looking to you for the answer. Everybody's looking to you for guidance. And now something I will also carry with me is the power of conscious capitalism. We all live in a capitalistic world where things are really ran by the people that are these stakeholders and people that own these businesses. But it's important to know that while you have that big, huge responsibility, you want to also be cautious and know that you don't want to take over somebody's needs, and you don't want to do too much to where people don't want to work for your business. So being a conscious leader and having conscious leadership is important, because moving forward, you want people to trust in your product and trust in what you're doing. I think that's all. Here are my references as well. I thank you so much for the past 8 weeks learning more about leadership in this class. And yeah, have a great day.